A U.S. congressman visited Southern California for an event to commemorate the Tiananmen massacre. He is also proposing to help Chinese people sue the CCP. Here's NTD's Eileen Ang with more.
Congressman Chris Smith represents New Jersey's 4th congressional district, but over the weekend, he was far from home. Smith was in the middle of the Mojave Desert in California, attending a pro-democracy event to commemorate the Tiananmen Square massacre in China 32 years ago. He blames the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, for its human rights abuses on the Chinese people.
He commits human rights abuse like few others, the genocide against the Uyghurs, Hong Kong, and the way they have gone after them, the continued persecution of the Falun Gong practitioners, including organ harvesting. These are outrageous, and it's all coming from the top leadership of the Chinese Communist Party, and that means Xi Jinping is directly responsible and ought to be held accountable for his crimes against humanity.
Smith points out that the CCP has grown in power over the years, doing business with and often stealing from the U.S. and other countries.
I believed, and I did it, right after Tiananmen Square, that the world needed to say no trade unless there's significant and substantial progress on human rights issues. Without that, the trading's gone. And unfortunately, the corporations, because they wanted to make a profit quickly and overnight, and had such a short-term view, turned around and traded and passed over these technologies that now will come back to haunt us.
Smith cited Chinese military tech that closely resembles U.S. versions. He always warned of China exporting censorship and propaganda. Smith emphasizes the importance of Chinese people clearly understanding the CCP's crimes.
People need to know that patriotism and respect for their country is not respect for the Chinese Communist Party. Its goals, its methods especially the use of pervasive torture, is antithetical to respect for human life and human rights.
Last April, he introduced legislation H.R. 6524, the Compensation for the Victims of State Misrepresentations to the World Health Organization Act of 2020. If enacted, it would waive the Foreign Immunities Act to allow U.S. citizens to sue the CCP in the U.S. courts for monetary damages. He believes that lawsuits against the CCP will help people understand the CCP's criminal nature and provide some relief for victims and families. Smith reintroduced the bill in March this year, but the House of Representatives has not shown any interest in it yet. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.